Hi, and welcome to Spotlight on the Sun. Today I'm visiting with Lori Dorr, who is the director of the play A Bad Year for Tomatoes, correct?
Yes.
And she's going to tell us a little bit about it. First of all, this is a second act performance.
Yes, the community theater we're trying to kind of rebuild and reestablish. It started a few months back with a Reader's Theater production, and then we did Plaza Suite. And after we did Plaza Suite, we elected to come up with an actual name. So we are the Second Act, which stands for Second Street Art Center Theater Group. And we have more performances planned. We haven't set any dates for those things, but currently we're doing A Bad Year for Tomatoes. It was written by a gentleman named John Patrick. Probably people would know more of his works like Splendor in the Grass, the Tea House of the August Moon, which I understand at one time you were involved with.
Yes, in college.
And then he also did Three Coins in the Fountain, and probably for a little bit younger group, The One World of Susie Wong. But anyway, this is a kind of an obscure thing. It's not something a lot of people know about, but it is absolutely hilarious.
So can you tell us a little bit about, well, let's talk about the cast first and the parts that they play, and then go in a little bit to the story.
I'm always so amazed because the group of actors in this community, the talent that here is absolutely just bountiful. I mean, these guys are so talented. We have everyone returning from Plaza Suite except one gentleman, Dan Koonsman, who just couldn't have time during the summer. He's pretty busy. And we've added Jim Lester. So if I run down the cast, Myra Marlowe, who is our lead character, is played by Chris Shepard. Tom Lamont is her producer and agent, and he is played by Jim Lester. Cora Gump is played by Sharon Exner. Reba Harper is Susan Lester. And then we have a rather strange character named Willa Mae Wilcox, and she is played by Shelley Anderson. So, no offense, Shelley, kind of typecast. Piney, who is our handyman, is played by Reggie Von Beeken. And then we have a sheriff who is played by Roger Richardson. And because our main character has made up a character and also has kind of a place where she talks to herself, we have someone who is providing 2 extra voices for those people off stage, and her name is Brenda Fisher. But they're just all amazing. They are so talented.
So tell us a little bit about this story.
Bad Year for Tomatoes is a comedy about a woman who was raised in the boob tube, is how she puts it. She's been acting since she was an infant, and she's sick of it. She's never been herself. So she leaves Hollywood to go to a small community on the East Coast to write her memoirs. The problem is with small communities, very often you have nosy neighbors, and indeed we do. So she makes up an imaginary sister in order to kind of thwart their constant comings and goings in her house. And I really don't want to tell you too much more, except for there's a love interest in this that happens with the crazy imaginary sister. And then eventually we come to murder. So it's a really bright comedy. Plaza Suite was a little darker humor. This is not the case with this one. This one is absolutely entertaining from start to finish. I can't even get the cast through a scene without them busting up.
And this also is going to be led by a soup and sandwich dinner beforehand.
Yes, it is. We had so many requests. We had planned to do this just as a straight theater production, but we had so many requests for a meal again because I guess they just really liked what we did at the last one, that we decided we're going to do kind of a picnic lunch. Now, when we say soup and sandwich, that sounds pretty boring, but actually we're going to do a little bit more of a slight gourmet twist on it. So it will be a really nice.
And obviously it's tomato soup.
Tomato basil soup, to be precise. And then the sandwich is going to be, I don't want to give that away, but my understanding is Taylor Barnes' recipe, and everyone who's ever had it just raves. So It isn't going to be bologna, grilled cheese, or tuna fish. I will tell you that.
It begins at 6 o'clock. The scheduled play dates are May 13th, 14th, and 15th.
That's right. And 6 o'clock is when we serve dinner, and then approximately 7 o'clock we will start the production. So it gives everybody plenty of time to eat.
And the ticket price includes that dinner.
Oh, yes. Even though we set the ticket price without a meal to begin with, because we had so many requests, we just felt like we should honor our community and keep the ticket price the same. So it is $15 for non-members and $10 for members or students. And that does include the meal at no extra charge. So I think it's a pretty good value.
I think it is too. And how do people get their tickets?
Oh, please call the Arts Center. That phone number is 251-2496. And you can call anytime. There's usually a volunteer there on Saturday mornings. But if you just call, give them the night you want to come, they'll be glad to get the tickets for you.
Thank you so much, Lori.
Oh, one quick thought. The annual art show is up as well. So another thing that you can enjoy for your $15 or $10, depending on your ticket price, is to go to the annual show. So if you come early, the gallery will be open and you can see all those works. So I think that even helps out a little bit too. Tony, thank you for your time with us. I really appreciate it. And please come and see the second act in their second big performance.
Thank you, Lori.